What if I told you that the man who made the world fall in love through dance was being destroyed from the inside, one silent scar at a time? He was named the sexiest man alive. He danced like nobody was watching, but behind that charm was pain. And behind that pain was a medical file so tragic it read like a slow goodbye. Tonight, in this first of two parts, we look into the early wounds, the rise, the breakdown, and the diagnosis that shattered Hollywood's golden image of Patrick Swayze. Let's start with the part few dare to touch. His childhood, Houston, Texas, August 18th, 1952, Patrick Wayne. Swayze was born into discipline, not the kind that builds routine, the kind that breaks children. His mother, Patsy Swayze, was a celebrated dance instructor, brilliant, charismatic, and according to family accounts, brutal. Behind closed doors, she demanded nothing less than perfection. Patrick would later reveal that when he made mistakes at dance practice, she would hit him, scream, and shame him. It wasn't training, it was trauma. There's a type of silence that never leaves a room. Patrick carried that silence for life. To the outside world, he was the perfect son, athletic, polite, graceful, but as a teen, he was bullied for being a male ballet dancer. "I got my face beaten in by 5 guys behind a church," he once said. And instead of telling him to walk away, his father arranged for him to fight each one back, one by one. It wasn't about revenge, it was about survival. In 1972, Patrick moved to New York City. He trained with elite ballet schools. He struggled to afford rent. And then he met Lisa Niemi, a fellow dancer. They married in 1975. Their love would last over 30 years, but it wasn't always gentle. Behind the scenes, friends say their relationship had shouting matches, broken furniture, and quiet retreats. Lisa admitted to walking away multiple times, but Patrick always pulled her back, just like he did with the bottle. 1987, Dirty Dancing, the role that changed everything. Hollywood fell for Patrick's confidence, his vulnerability, his rhythm. What they didn't see was the whiskey behind the curtain. He began drinking heavily in 1982 after his father passed away. That loss shattered him. He wasn't just drinking, he was erasing himself. Years later, he'd confess, "I never felt anything when I drank. That's why I couldn't stop." By 2000, he was forced to land his private plane in Arizona. On board, no co-pilot, just empty bottles. His reputation in Hollywood never fully recovered, but still, he was cast, again and again, because when the cameras rolled, he was magic. December 31st, 2007, Patrick is at a New Year's Eve party. He drinks champagne and feels a sudden burning pain in his stomach. Over the next days, the pain becomes unbearable. He can't eat. He loses weight. His eyes turn yellow, a textbook sign of jaundice. He tries to hide it from Lisa. She notices. He brushes it off, but she doesn't buy it. January 14th, 2008. At Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, scans are run. Blood is drawn. And then, silence. Patrick Swayze is told he has pancreatic adenocarcinoma, an extremely aggressive, often untreatable form of cancer. Worse, it has already spread to his liver. This isn't stage 1, this is stage 4. Doctors give him 3 to 6 months to live. His response, "I'm not ready to leave this world." He starts chemotherapy with gemcitabine. He loses weight rapidly, over 60 pounds. His once muscular frame shrinks, but he refuses to stop working. Incredibly, he continues filming the TV series The Beast, showing up to set with an IV drip still in his arm. It wasn't denial, it was defiance. He once said, "I don't want to be treated like a cancer patient. I want to live like Patrick Swayze." And so he did, until his body stopped allowing it. There comes a point where even the strongest heart can no longer carry the weight of a fading body. In early 2008, Patrick Swayze received the diagnosis that would change his life: Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. His initial response was pure defiance. He continued working, filming the crime drama The Beast, pushing himself through grueling days on set, battling nausea, pain, and rapid weight loss, all while refusing to show weakness. But inside his body, the war was escalating. Pancreatic cancer, especially the type called ductal adenocarcinoma, is known to be one of the most aggressive and unforgiving cancers. By the time it is discovered in most patients, it has already spread. In Patrick's case, it had quietly metastasized to his liver. By mid-2009, Patrick's weight had plummeted to under 105 pounds, 48 kilograms. His once athletic frame was now frail, and even the smallest exertion exhausted him. Yet he still showed up to work. He still smiled. He still believed, or tried to believe, in the possibility of beating the odds. But the cancer had no intention of surrendering. What does the body of a fighter look like after the fight is over? Patrick Swayze passed away on September 14, 2009, at the age of 57. His official cause of death was listed as pancreatic cancer, but the full story, written across his body, is more complex, more brutal, and far more tragic. According to medical sources and testimony from professionals close to the case, the final clinical portrait of Swayze's body revealed a cascade of organ failure. The pancreas was nearly destroyed, overtaken by the tumor mass. The liver showed widespread metastasis, multiple lesions visible to the naked eye, a clear sign that the cancer had traveled and invaded deeply. The stomach and intestinal lining were inflamed and thinned, likely due to the combination of chemotherapy and the body's own inflammatory response. Severe cachexia, muscle wasting syndrome, had reduced his lean muscle mass to almost skeletal proportions. His lungs were congested and bore signs of pneumonia, a common secondary complication in terminal cancer patients. Jaundice was present in the skin and sclera, revealing that the liver was no longer processing bilirubin. Internally, his immune system was collapsed. His bone marrow, the factory of white blood cells, had been crippled by months of treatment. At the end, even the strongest immune response couldn't protect him from infections. Medications found in his bloodstream included gemcitabine, a standard chemo agent used in pancreatic cancer. Anti-nausea medications, likely ondansetron or similar, to manage chronic vomiting. High-dose painkillers, including morphine, used to dull the unbearable pain as cancer pressed on nerves and vital organs. Steroids to control inflammation and help sustain appetite. Despite all this, no illegal drugs or alcohol were found. Patrick had, by all reports, remained clean in his final years, a testament to his will to live and to die with dignity. Even as his body failed, Patrick's mind remained sharp until the final stretch. In the last 3 months of his life, according to close friends and family, Patrick began experiencing cognitive decline. He would sometimes forget what day it was. His speech slurred. His coordination faltered. Some moments he would drift into confusion and then snap back, fully aware, fully present, only to fade again. This was likely a result of both the systemic failure caused by cancer and the strong opioid pain medications, which often affect alertness and memory. In his last interviews, there's a noticeable shift. His voice, once strong and confident, became breathy and cracked. His face, once radiant, looked distant and pale. But even then, his eyes remained Patrick Swayze's eyes, warm, searching, and grateful for every second. On the morning of September 14, Patrick was at home in Los Angeles, surrounded by loved ones. His wife, Lisa Niemi, who had been his rock through 3 decades, was by his side. He had stopped eating several days earlier. He barely spoke. Breathing had become shallow, irregular, At one point, his pulse weakened so much that hospice workers believed the end was near, but he held on for hours more. Around 7 o'clock in the evening, Patrick took his final breath, peacefully, quietly, in his own bed. There was no emergency, no rush to the hospital, just a silent farewell, as if he had waited for the right moment, the right breath, the right whisper from Lisa's voice. He died just 20 months after his diagnosis, a timeline that, while short, is longer than most survive with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Patrick defied the odds until he couldn't anymore. When news broke of Patrick Swayze's passing, the world stopped. Fans flooded social media, candlelight vigils appeared outside theaters. Tributes came from Hollywood giants, dancers, cancer survivors, even strangers. Messages poured in. He taught us how to fight with grace, a legend on screen and a warrior off it. We never knew how much pain he was in because he never let it show. His death raised awareness for pancreatic cancer in ways few could have imagined. Google searches for the disease skyrocketed. Donations to cancer research foundations surged. Public discourse shifted. He had made the invisible visible. Patrick Swayze left behind more than movies and memories. He left behind a lesson in resilience, in love, in vulnerability, in holding on even when everything tells you to let go. From Dirty Dancing to Ghost, from heartthrob to fighter, Patrick became a symbol, not just of masculinity, but of depth, discipline, and grace under pressure. And perhaps his most powerful role was the one no one filmed, the role of a man dying publicly, but with dignity, the role of a man teaching millions how to live with pain without letting it consume their soul. Patrick Swayze once said, "When those you love are gone, the best you can do is live for them and pass on the love they gave you." Today, we live with his spirit. We pass on the fire that burned in his dance. And we remember not just how he died, but how he never let death define him.